Hello, I'm Sam Previti, your Washington Township Supervisor. I'm very honored today to have two special guests here to talk about Senior Scams Alert. I have our Macomb County Prosecutor, Peter J. Lucido, here with us today, and I have Commander Jason Abro from the Macomb County Sheriff's Department. And I'll turn it over to our prosecutor here.
Well, you know what? Thank you very much, Mr. Supervisor. I appreciate coming out, and I know that Commander Jason Abro has done a great job regarding the Senior Scams program. We at the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office have a special unit called Senior Crimes. And senior crimes would be those crimes that are committed against the greatest generation that ever lived, our seniors. In addition to Senior Crimes Unit, we have a Consumer Crimes Unit, and that's consumer fraud. And both of those units take on a whole new life about what's going on in the world, and a lot of it has to do with scams, and we're going to be out there stopping them. We put on a seminar. If you want us to have a seminar for you, the Macomb County prosecutors will come out. They'll do it where you host us. We've done it in Washington Township, and I always love coming out here because I know the area well. I served as the state senator and also the House member when my journey began in politics. But the senior scams or consumer fraud is very important because it's just not happening to seniors. It's happening to everyone. And we're going to give you some tips today because this booklet here talks about those scams and how you can prevent it. In addition, I'm going to let you know the first thing you have to do is not call our office when there is a scam or you truly believe that there's a scam, but you need to get a hold of your local law enforcement. And that's why the Sheriff's Department, who take care of you here in Washington Township, we've got a great bunch of people over here that take care of us on the road, but they also take care of us when we have those incidents of scams. And I'd like to thank the commander, Jason Abro, because he's there to take your call. What's it look like? You know, do you think that there's something here that may not be so honest or ethical? Like when they take mail out of your mailbox and they start going through your mail and they start to see where your bank statements are or where you're getting medical treatment and care, because it may have some bearing on getting further and deeper into where they're going to go ahead and steal your identity. In addition, we've been coming up with a lot of crimes at the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office as it relates to those individuals that are calling on the phone, and that's called phishing. They're trying to get you to talk to them about that information. The bigger ones we see is the banking ones, where family members, loved ones get a hold of your PIN number for your bank account, and you shouldn't give that so easily. That is where they can go ahead and siphon money out of the account, and it could be for a host of reasons. And then also porch pirates. Around the holidays or birthdays or special days when stuff's coming to your porch, people go take the packages off your porch. You've got to be vigilant. You've got to be on top of it all the time, because if they open those packages, they're going to be getting some information in the packing slips and what your buying habits are. And whether or not they're going to use all that to scam you, there's ways of preventing it. But I could keep going on forever. I'm encouraging everyone. These are here in the township. They're in the township hall where the supervisor is. We have them in the Sheriff's Department. We also have them at your local libraries. You'll find these and other pamphlets that'll help you learn about the scams. But I want to turn it over now to Commander Abro, because he's going to tell you what to do if you think somebody's out there scamming you.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having us, and thanks for our partnership here in Washington Township with the Sheriff's Office. You know, Mr. Prosecutor, thanks for bringing light to this topic, because it's important, right, that our seniors have worked hard. You know, they deserve a good quality of life. They do not deserve to be scammed. So this is a great idea. I know you've provided a ton of material to all law enforcement agencies across this county, as well as different townships, as Washington, you spoke here. You know, seniors are a vulnerable population. And these are where we get a lot of our suspects that they like to target the seniors. They'll go after phone calls. They'll go after their mail to try and open up things in their name. They'll contact them via telephone telling them that a loved one has been arrested and that you need to provide money for this person to be released. They'll go as far as calling and identifying themselves as a police officer, that you may have a warrant for your arrest and we need money to release this warrant. So if there's ever a time where someone feels that they're being targeted or being scammed, contact the sheriff's office, contact local law enforcement. We'll guide you in the right direction. More than likely, no police officer or investigator is going to contact someone via telephone. They'll get some kind of correspondence via mail or show up at the residence. So do not buy into that. And if there's ever an issue, contact the sheriff's office or local law enforcement. But this is great. We're thrilled that you're bringing such light to this, because it means a lot to our senior population.
But I find that, even with these individuals that we represent, and we do have what's called a victim advocate program together, they're afraid because they feel that they did something that was stupid, and they feel something like, it's a loved one, a family member, or it could be a caregiver ripping them off. Tell us a little bit about why they shouldn't hesitate and report this as, look, I'm not so sure that I want to do this, but can you tell me what direction or what options or alternative options do I have if I do report this individual?
Yeah, so once they report the information that it's possibly a scam or that they're being scammed at some point, once they report it to local law enforcement, then we start our investigation. We can do search warrants on IP addresses for computers. We can also do search warrants on phone numbers to determine where did that phone number come from. Unfortunately, some of these complaints do come from out of the country, and we take it to the end, and then we realize that it did not come in from the United States. It came in through different IP addresses that are out of the country, and on those options, it kind of hurts law enforcement once we determine that. But I do have to say that some of our banks are becoming a lot smarter with this, where they'll contact the individual and say, hey, you withdrew a lot of money here. What's going on? Where are you sending this money? So they've done a great job on kind of identifying that scam. So they shouldn't feel embarrassed. They shouldn't feel down that they provided some kind of money or that they felt scammed. They should report it right away. Let us take care of it, and let us go through our networks to see what we can dig up.
When I was in the legislature, I did try my best, and it actually worked finally, but I worked with the banks, the financial institutions, the credit unions, and I said, if there's a pattern, I sure do know it with the clients that I handled when I practiced law, which were every month the check would come for Social Security, the pension check, they'd deposit it, then they'd ask for $300 back for the whole month, and they would utilize that as a watermark. When they did take a little more out, they usually shared it with the teller. I'm taking a little more out, I'm going on a trip, or I'm going to give a little bit more to my grandchildren, or whatever it is. But I realized that because of those patterns and the algorithms in the computer, the bank teller knew that customer very, very well. I've been banking at the same bank for over 40 years. And they know what I am. They know I'm a creature of habit. It's the same with everybody out there. The old school people, like myself, like to get the paper in the mail. We like to see our bank statement. We like to look at those numbers. And the other ones, the newer generation, like my kids, they like to see it online. So I got a bill that went in, and it got passed and signed by the governor that said, financial liability reform. That means that the bank has an absolute duty, and that's why you're saying they're doing a great job now notifying Adult Protective Services, saying, there's something not right here. Mrs. Brown or Mrs. Jones comes in every month, and this is what she does. Now there's 10,000 coming out at a time, and we don't want to really get involved with asking her and everything, but there seems to be something. We've asked her, is there something special in your life happening? And they don't want to talk about it. Maybe it's a son or a daughter, a niece or a nephew, a grandchild that says, hey, Grandma, I got a great opportunity. I'd like to have you, loan me $10,000 for 30 days. 30 days go by, Grandma doesn't get paid back. Grandma, it's going to cost a little bit more. And with the online gaming right now that these kids are doing on their cell phones all day and all night, and some of these other things like drugs and alcohol that they're getting hooked on, I have a real problem with this because the seniors work their entire life, as Commander Abro indicated, to hold their nest egg so that they could live a comfortable life when they don't work anymore and can't work anymore. And to see somebody lose their entire money that they worked all their life for, that's why we're here. That's why you've got to go ahead and provide the information. That's why you've got to be very vigilant and said, you know what, I want to look into this investment. I want to know what it is. I want to see the paperwork on it. Because once you let that horse out of the barn, that horse may never come back in, which means if you lose all your money, what are you going to do? That's why we're here. And there's another thing that's about abuse. There's no excuse for elderly abuse. No excuse. These individuals are vulnerable, and they're ones that we don't want to take advantage of because they should never be taken advantage of. If you find that there's elderly abuse, anyone, report it to Adult Protective Services. There's a pamphlet you'll find, and it'll have all the phone numbers. Easy resource, and on top of it, it'll tell you where to go and what to do. That's no different than anything else. When you go to a nursing care, whether it be independent, memory, senior living, whether it be somebody who needs just a little bit of assistance during rehabilitation, you have certain rights when you go into these facilities. And there's questions you have to ask in the beginning before you enter them and find out exactly what it is. Here, right on that page right there, nursing home rights and responsibilities that they have to take care of you. Please ask the questions earlier and before you sign up so that you know what to ask, that you're informed, and you know how you should be treated. Nobody should hurt our seniors, and that's why I have the supervisor and at this point here, the commander. They want to make sure you're provided for. Ask the questions, get the information, be an informed person, because we want to see that you have a bright future when you're older.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. And to the seniors and to anyone like you're saying has any issues or has been abused, I can tell you on a law enforcement standpoint, we're here for you. We want to make sure that we bring this topic to light. If you ever file a report, file a complaint, I can tell you that we will thoroughly investigate any issue. And I can tell you from our office, and as we pass things up to the prosecutor's office, they do a phenomenal job. They have phenomenal prosecutors within their office, and we will make sure that justice is served if this does happen. So please don't feel that embarrassed by it, don't feel offended by it. Make sure you get that to law enforcement so we can push it to the right authorities and hopefully bring some light to the topic.
I want to make sure, Mr. Supervisor, you've opened the hall, and we both appreciate that because we do this joint kind of question and answer, and it's okay to say what it is that's on your mind with the Sheriff's Department here. It's important that we keep these things going, to say that we're having these SCAMS seminars. We would like all the seniors to join us. The senior center's open over here, and on top of it, I know that the command officer, Jason Abro, will spend his time to come in and educate you as it relates to what you need to do the complaint, what items that they've seen coming in and out of their office. Some never make it to our office because they don't have enough evidence to bring to our office. But when they do, that's the time they bring it on up, and then our group takes it from there to do the prosecution. But I want to continue to encourage all those listening. We go out in the community together as a team to educate you, to get you at least knowledgeable as to what it is you can do to avoid this. What type of scams are out there? Is it credit cards? Does it have to do with the internet? We have a host of them. And by educating those individuals that are your residents and you giving them the opportunity to open up the doors here to have this, the dialogue is forever. It doesn't matter what group it is. It could be the Kiwanis. It could be, the Knights of Columbus. We'll come in and do the seminar, which is the SCAMS seminar for all of those. And as we have an aging population here in Macomb County, specifically our population has grown. The north end is getting more populated, as the sheriff and I and the supervisor talked about. Now's the time to get the power. Educate yourself, because everything's running on computer, and it's always very important to go ahead and protect yourself because we don't know who's on the other end of that computer.
True.
If there's anything we can do for Washington Township as it relates to putting these seminars on, having a fair kind of for the seniors, we stand vigilant in doing that because as our aging population grows, we want them to be guarded and armed with all the information that they can protect themselves.
As supervisor of Washington Township, and we are a growing community, or have been, are there certain crimes that are happening up here in Washington that are different from southern Macomb County or eastern Macomb County? Or
I think what you find is where you have a denser population, you're finding more of a spike. Where you have the senior centers and you have the individuals relying on caregivers, you see a greater spike. There's a lot of caregiver fraud that's going on, or scamming, and there's also there are individuals that have their families trying to assist them. They're helping themselves. So I think it all depends on where the aging of the population is. I know the Sheriff's Department, and I've talked to Commander Abro about this, they have a mapping system over there where all these crimes are being committed in this North End, meaning is it Washington, is it Macomb, is it Richmond? They look at those and they determine where the resources need to go and to intensify some more of the education, the outreach, and the programs. But you're right, it could happen up here in Washington, and it does. That's the problem. No one knows what's happening until it happens, and sometimes it's too late to educate enough people because these scams are a hit and run kind of deal. They got people on the phone soliciting other people for money, as you know, Commander Abro has indicated. And then what happens is they go pick up the money in 4 or 5 different locations, and they're gone. So sometimes before they even know what happened, they take off. There's a lot of packages being stolen. The law was changed up in Lansing about that, saying we're going to hold people accountable because of all the packages that are going to be stolen off of their porches. Most people have what's called a ring camera that says when somebody enters onto the threshold of the porch, there's a warning that happens in their phone or is being recorded. And at that point there, we're starting to get more and more people that are stealing packages and items from individuals. So is it happening here? I can tell you my children, as yours probably out there, it seems like they order every day. Every time I come home, there's a package on the porch. So I think the way changes have happened in society, my mom used to go to J.L. Hudson's, probably like yours, or Montgomery Ward's. Today, they order everything over the phone. And we don't see so much of the big stores. But when you see those packages, I'm telling you, people are creatures of habit. If they see a lot of packages being delivered and they're staking out your house, it's going to happen. So if they're ordering a lot of packages up here in Washington, be prepared for a lot of cases that are happening.
Another thing, I know you touched on it about internet, but I was also a victim of it upon being elected supervisor. An email went out mimicking that it was from me, requesting cash being released. And so I know that probably happens to both in the private and public sector.
It's happening all over. I was also, and here, it happens to law enforcement. In fact, just recently, my mother said that there was a group of law enforcement that were soliciting donations. It was a fraudulent group that was on the phone. So you really don't even know who you're giving to. And what happens is you should be getting the phone number of the individual calling you. If you have a caller ID, that's the best way to go ahead and screen the calls. My mom picks the phone up for everybody. She's 92. I know your mom and your mom. They're getting up there in age. So, hey, it could be my family member. They were asking, too, about, one of your grandchildren are locked up in the county jail. You're going to have to come and bring some gift cards. Who in the heck is getting people out with gift cards? But people don't know. They're thinking, oh, my God, I got to get my grandson or my granddaughter out of jail. They're not thinking it through and saying, maybe I should contact somebody else to help me with this. So please call your local sheriff department who patrol here in Washington Township and explain, this is what I just got. They're going to walk you through it. That's what they're there for, to help you.
Yeah, and speaking of what the prosecutor said about the seminars or coming out to some of the events and speaking about this, I can tell you just what you're talking about. I was scammed myself. I used a debit card, and then all of a sudden there was a reader inside this device, and then it read my numbers, and then someone was purchasing things in Chicago. But that's what's important about educating the public and actually bringing light to this topic. And coming out and speaking about it, because the more we talk about this, the more the word gets spread, the more we educate the public. And these are some of the things that we would talk about in seminars, that don't use a debit card, start using a credit card, because then that's money that's being withdrawn from your bank account. But just like you, it's happened to me, just like the prosecutor stated, it does happen. But we have to stay vigilant, we have to keep reporting it, and we have to tackle this topic, and we have to bring a lot of light towards it.
I can tell you firsthand that we do seminars like this for free. There's no charge. We give them the information. We go to the churches. We're into the senior centers that are here on the grounds here in Washington Township and also up in Romeo. We also go to even the Sheriff's Department. They have some seminars that are held within the Sheriff's Department. But mostly it's you, the viewers, that will be hosting it with your organization and groups. And we also find that the nursing facilities, they want it the most. They want to know what their rights is regarding a guardianship. Those individuals will take care of their physical needs, as well as the conservatorship. They take care of the financial. Can they change that? The living will. Who's going to take care of my medical decisions? All of that is in this book. All of this is available for you to read, and it's a quick read. We have it looking like this. Like, for instance, warning signs for mail fraud and internet fraud. Right there are the signs, and right here is the prevention steps in green. So it's stop, this is what you're looking for. Green, this is what you can do to prevent it. It's a small little time saver, but it's also a mind that you'll have a clear mind on what to do when it comes time to do it. So I want to also encourage anybody that has an organization, anybody that wants to have this seminar that's for free, to get the law enforcement official, Commander Abro, myself out there. We'll come right to you, and we'll put it on. And at the end, you'll be able to take these little babies with you, share it with other friends and family members, but also you'll be able to ask the question live, right there and then, so you can walk away with the power you need. Is there anything else?
No, that's great. Again, these are located in the Township Municipal Hall in the lobby, along with our senior center, and also at the senior center up in Romeo on Morton Street as well.
I'm looking forward to getting the first call after the program here, and Commander Abro, myself, and you know what, Supervisor Praviti, you come with us too.
Yeah.
Maybe you can shed some light on what we need to do in our own jobs to make it a better service for you, the viewers.
And of course, you both are welcome anytime to our senior center to give a seminar.
Don't push us. We don't want to get there that quick.
Of course, safety is our number one concern here in Washington Township. We're proud to have 14 deputies on staff from the Sheriff's Department, which they add a lot more than a normal local police department. We have a lot of the extra perks that come with the County Sheriff's Department. We've also have the high school liaison that we share with them, which is in addition to the 14. And most recently, we've added a traffic enforcement officer and a motor carrier enforcement officer. So we're really proud to work with the great relationship we have with
We
your
appreciate the
department.
commitment, and
Thank you.
yeah, appreciate it.
Mr. Supervisor, I want to let you know that your viewers out there can, if they can't get out for whatever reason, some are bedbound and won't have the opportunity, but we have this version online in the Macomb County Prosecutor's website.
Oh, that's great.
So if they just go online and take it right off the website, you can read this on your own tablet or on your own computer. Please visit our website. It'll have not only the booklet in its entirety, but also all the services that the Macomb County Prosecutor provides to the county with important information and contact information. Use the website. It navigates real easy, and on top of it, if you can't get out, but you'd like to learn about that information and you can't make it to a seminar, it's important to at least educate yourself by going on the website.
No, that's terrific. Well, I want to thank you again for sharing all this information. This is all great.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate you having us.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having us.
Commander
Thank you,
Abro.
sir.
Thank you. I'm Sam Praviti, your Township Supervisor. Thank you for watching, and thank our guest here again.
Thank you.